everybody! So over the last few days, we've been helping Hansel and Gretel mark the walking paths near their little house in the woods. Well, now the trails are so well marked that many people who live in the village nearby are starting to use them too. So the two children decided to clean up the trails a bit. They decided it would be nice to put in some fences and some benches and plant some pretty flowers along the way. They decided that each fence section would be 10 steps long. We're going to represent that by using 10 blue M&Ms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They also decided that each bench would be 5 steps long and each flower pot would only be 1 step long. The benches we're going to represent using 5 yellow M&Ms. 3, 4, 5. And to represent the flowers, we're going to use 1 green M&M. So here's how things look along their path. As we can see, they have fences, flower pots, and benches. How many steps do you think this path is? Let's use our M&Ms to help us figure it out. I see that there's a bench. My key tells me that the bench is 10 steps long. So I'm going to move all 10 M&Ms down. I also see that there's a flower pot. Next, I'm going to fill in the spaces for my bench. I have 5 yellow, and then there are 1, 2, 3, 4 flower pots. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4 M&Ms. Let's count and see how long our path is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that matches up to the second set of fencing. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So after the bench, we are at 16 steps. And now for the final 4 flower pots. 17, 18, 19, 20. So we can see that our path is 20 steps long. So I'm going to switch to a different sheet. We're still going to have our same scale. So our fences are still going to be represented by 10 blue M&Ms. Our benches are going to be represented by 5 yellow M&Ms. And our flower pots with 1 green M&M. So instead of using the Unifix cubes, we're going to stick with our M&Ms. You can obviously use whatever is around your house. I chose M&Ms because once I'm done with the lesson, then I go ahead and eat the ones that I've already touched. So it's a little bit of motivation for myself. So the first one says to build 4 fence sections, 4 benches, and 12 flower pots in the colors that we choose. We are to color the cubes in the key to show what color we're using for each object. We have to make different arrangements of the fence sections, benches, and flower pots to fill a path that is 12 steps long. So, we're not going to build them with Unifix cubes, but I am going to go ahead and arrange them. So I'm supposed to have 4 fence sections. So I have 1 fence, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's my second fence section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's my third fence section. 1, 2, run away M&M. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There is my fourth section. Actually, we're going to go ahead and clear our workspace. Next, we need our 4 benches. So we have 1 bench, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 benches, 3 benches, 4 benches. And now we need 12 flower pots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I can use all of these resources to help fill in my path. To make this easier, I'm going to fold my page in half so that we only have to look at this section. So my first path, I think I'm going to start with a fence. So I would need to take 10 blue M&Ms. Let me just double check them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I don't have enough room for a flower pot, for a bench, because I would have 1, 2, 3 extra. The only option for me is to use 1, 2 flower pots. So my equation would be 10 plus 2 equals 12. The next arrangement, I think I'm going to start with a bench. So I would need 5 yellows. 4, 5. Next, I'm going to put a flower pot. So that is 1 step. So now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. I'm going to add 1 more flower pot and then another bench. So for this path, I have 2 benches and 2 flower pots. If my benches are worth 5, I know I have 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 5. That's 5, 6, 7, 12. What do we want to do for our next path? Let's start out with a flower pot. Next, I'm going to add a piece of fencing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1 flower pot. So we have 1 plus 10 plus 1. So 1, 11, 12. For this next one, I'm going to start with 2 flower pots. 1, 2. Next, I'm going to add a bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then, I'm going to add 1 more bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For my next fence, I'm going to start with a flower pot Actually, I'm going to start with 2 flower pots. Then I'm going to have my fence line. So I need 10 blues. Oops. I think I can smell the chocolate from the M&Ms. It smells so good. So this piece of path is made up of 2 flower pots and 1 piece of fence. What would be my equation for this piece of path? If you said 2 plus 10, you were correct. You could have also said 1 plus 1 plus 10 equals 12. My last section of path, I have 1 fence and 2 flower pots. So I'm going to stick a flower pot on either end of my fence and put my fence in the middle of it. So my equation this time, similar to our third section of path, is 1 plus 10 plus 1. That is 1, jump 10 to 11, 12. Your homework section for tomorrow looks a little bit different, but I wanted to give you a preview before we did it. So yours is called 10 Steps on a Path. Very, very, very similar to what we did together. Except that in yours, you will have 2 sections of fence. 1. 2. You will need 4 benches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can have 10 flower pots. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's very important that you use materials in your house to help you model this activity. That way, you can keep track of how many benches you have left, how many flower pots you have left, and how many pieces of fencing. So, while you're doing this, make sure that you build it, but also use colored pencils or crayons or markers to keep track on our tracker as well. On the last direction, it says, color in each arrangement on the path sections below. Use crayons or colored pencils to match the Unifix cubes. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps on our path. One way that we can do it is by having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a bench, and 5 flower pots. And actually I'm going to put 1 flower pot in the front. So once I've constructed my path, I'm going to take 2 markers that match and color in my scale. So I'm going to color 1 flower pot, color 5 spaces for my bench, 4, 5, and color in 4 more spaces for my 4 flower pots. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since I've used these, I will put them away. Your job is to come up with creations for all 5 situations. You have to use all of the materials. So you have to use both fence sections, all 4 benches, and all 10 flower pots. Get creative and let's see how many combinations you can come up with using the supplies that are available to you. Good luck and have fun!